How do video games impact society? Well, with the increasing technology recently, video games are becoming a more prevalent and integral part of what society does, right? If you look at older generations, they might have grown up with board games. And as you come to my generation, that slowly transforms into a console or computer games, right? In my time, you had your Game Boy, your PlayStation, and much time was spent there as a child. But these days, kids are there are an increasing number of video games for kids to play, all the way from console games to computer games to even mobile games. And I think it's becoming really popular because, well, one, games are increasingly being more fun. We're developing stronger technology, so games are more immersive. They just got more reward systems and they're just more challenging and cool. We've got bigger teams working on games that are will obviously result in more. And I think even with technology, it allows for an increase in free time that we have, right? Previously to video games, when you have free time, you might go outside with your friends, you might go chat and socialize and entertain yourself, outside of your home. But now that so much of our lives are inside, and spent on technology, well, people just gravitate toward video games. In terms of its impact on society, I think there are both positive and negative aspects to it. Let's start with some positive aspects. I think in the positive aspect, video games can really push technology, right? For example, when you play video games, they actually need a really strong rendering and graphics engine on your computer. And what powers that? Well, um, when you're developing when you're developing technology, you have to keep in mind what it needs to support. And so all these things that you need high frame rates or high graphics, they're all spurred along by video games. Other things, I think that video games actually teach or can teach problem solving skills. Take a game like Minecraft. It's very simple, but it can teach you a lot about world building and resource gathering and using. Even like small things like coding. A lot of people have created Minecraft mods on Minecraft or mods on Minecraft, and it teaches you how to develop, especially with relation to a game that you thoroughly enjoy. Let's talk about a few negatives though. Video games, as fun as they might be, aren't all positive, right? A lot of negatives that come from video games come from parents or general society toward or what they have in mind toward kids and children playing video games, specifically with how their time is spent and the content of the games. First of all, video games are really draining, right? I can talk from experience. I used to play League of Legends, MapleStory, all that, and you'd spend the whole day, 8 hours, 10 hours at a time, just playing video games. And one, it's not a great usage of time when you could be learning or being outside with friends. And two, it's not exactly healthy for your eyes. Being locked at a computer screen for 8 hours at a time would damage your eyes, if not, yeah. And again, not being outside means that you don't exercise or really move your body, which is really important. Another thing is that video games can be very violent, right? You have a lot of these first-person shooter games where there's blood, there's killing, and your objective is to find others to kill. And that's not exactly something that's healthy to instill in young children, especially with all this war and violence going on currently. So yeah, I think video games have a huge positive impact on society. And whilst there is still negatives, I think really it's up to parents and the developers to keep in mind how they can restrict or how they can supervise that, right? You don't want to. I don't think you should cancel video games just because they're very time consuming or have graphic content. I think yeah, they really push society to develop better, to see new ways of looking at things. But obviously, we've got to keep in mind that they have real consequences and that they shouldn't just be let reign freed.